throttle again.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Jesus shit. All right, guys, today's the day. It is time to put in the new transmission that we've been waiting on forever. Got it? I'm gonna take you over here, show you what we got. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a brief explanation of what this transmission is, because I'm also gonna have a video that you guys can check out over here. And a brief explanation is a AOD case, okay? This comes out of a FOXBODY, and it has 4R70W internals in it, okay? I'm not a transmission expert, so I can't sit here and tell you everything about it. But like I said, I have a full video up explaining all of this, okay? But what this transmission is going to allow us to do now is really throw some power to this thing, because as you can see, it has a new deep pan in it. Very nice pan right here. If I can get it tilted up where you can see that. Very nice pan. So this thing now has a different ratio. It has all 4R70W gear set inside of it. So the ratios are going to be a little different, meaning first gear and all the other gears are going to be just a touch lower. Also, it's had some governor work done to it so that this thing should shift somewhere around 5,500 to 6,000 whenever you put your foot to it and leave it in drive, okay? And all that's going to be adjusted off of TV cable pressure, so line pressure, if you will. So that's how you kind of can dictate that a little bit, but that's essentially what it's set up for. And I just want to take a moment to look at the nice clean work here. This thing is absolutely spotless. I mean, it looks brand spanking new. This comes from a good friend of mine, Stephen Grant. We're going to consider doing a package deal for an AOD like this if you guys you know, are interested in it, but first we need to test it, okay? So this is going to be our test mule. We also are running the TCI valve body, okay, because my valve body was messed up, and we're going to give this TCI valve body a try. So there's some like trial and error here, and we both agreed that we were going to try this and put it out on the channel and let you guys see what happens, okay? If there's an issue with it, then we're going to send it back to him and we're going to get that fixed. This is something that we're both aware of, but we think it's going to work, so we're going to give it a try. This already has lower gears, so the transmission, there's a chance that it thinks that we're going a lot faster than we are, and it might try to shift a little early, okay? The main thing here, though, is get this thing swapped out and try it out, okay? Try this car out and see if the shifts aren't as sluggish anymore. This thing should pop whenever it shifts, so that's what we're looking for. All right, well, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is take some time to inspect everything, because we do have an oil leak and I'm pretty sure it's coming from the lower intake. So I'm going to lower the car down, look around real quick, and hope to God that it is not a rear main seal drip, because if it is, it's probably going to have to stay that way, because this has the two-piece rear main seal. Remember guys, this is an old engine here. This is not a one-piece rear main seal. For everybody wondering, here's the converter. It's a small, I think it's a 10-inch converter is what this is. Seems to be a really good converter though. I'm liking this thing a lot. But yeah, as you can see up here, see all the oil and stuff? That's telling me that that lower intake is leaking, which I'm proud of. I'm glad that that's what it is. I got to get this transmission off over here, and then I've got to try not to kill myself or drop the transmission and get the new one up on the lift. Whew, it's gonna be rough, guys. I'll catch you in a few. Okay, so my transmission builder is extremely particular about the way he likes to do things, okay? These transmissions have to be super clean. So as you can see, this is Cooler Clean, made by Lube Guard. I've never used this stuff before, but it comes with a couple different fittings. If you unscrew the fitting that comes on it, you're left with this black fitting right here, which will screw directly onto your stock lines. What we're gonna do here is blow some of this cleaner through the lines. It's gonna go through the radiator as well. And then we're gonna flush this line out, okay? Ah, look at that. Pretty cool. So we're just gonna flush this through. And what this will do is get any contaminants that were in your, in your system. It'll go ahead and get those out. Look, we're already getting. Ooh, this stuff's coming out crazy. That's pretty cool. This will get any contaminants that were in your system out, right? You don't want, like, let's say your transmission went bad and you burn up some clutches. You're going to get some material in your radiator, in your lines, in your cooler, whatever the case may be. You're going to get that stuff, right? Let's see if we can ramp this up a little bit. What we're going to do, this is something else we talked about, is go ahead and push a little bit of air through here and make sure that we get all this stuff out. That's pretty cool, man. That's some really cool stuff. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and blow some air through this line. And I talked to Steven and he said, don't use any more than 20 PSI to push through this. He said you could cause some problems. So we're just gonna ease into this thing here. Oh, wow, that's not good. Now there's a lot of black stuff coming out of here. Look at this, guys. Look at this, can you see that? I'll try to zoom in for you. All right, one of the other things that Steven mentioned to me was the input shaft where it goes into the transmission. He said we need to really go ahead and chamfer these things out really good. Now it's the end that goes in, and as you can see, it has touched at some point because you can see a little bit of wear here. And we're gonna touch the end of this ever so slightly to remove a little bit of material. So the next step is come in with a Dremel and put an X across this. Just that way if they did butt up, it could still move fluid through it, right? We're gonna create like a trough, if you will. Safety first. And we're just gonna come over here to our little belt sander. Although those lines are not completely straight, it doesn't matter. That just allows a little bit of flow to come through if these shafts were to contact one another, right? Make sure that your converter is locked in. If you can spin this thing like this, then it's probably not locked in, okay? If you can spin it right here. It should take some resistance to spin. This is probably a full 1.5 inch depth behind the casing. That's a good reference for you guys that don't know, that aren't sure.
Stop, man. I'm trying to look.
I'm trying to point at the camera. Stop.
It don't work. It's not working.
Yes, it is. I can see the red light on the front. Cuz, man, he'll come in there. I'm trying to sleep, so I'm trying to be funny and just breathing heavy and shit. I'm like, man, you gonna keep back my house?
It's my house. You can live with me.
No, I'm not.
Ben,
Hello.
you nasty. Got the transmission in the car. Went in pretty smooth. Everybody agree? Pretty smooth, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't really smooth.
It did. Went in good. One tip is make sure you put your dipstick tube in before you put your exhaust on. That really makes it hard. Other than that, I do that every time. I mean, we're not talking about putting your dipstick.
Go to hell.
No. All right, so put your dipstick in and
It's funny, ain't it? How I knock out everybody in the shop. How about that?
see this. You guys want more content like this, but this is the shit that happens. We don't ever get anything done. 12 quarts should take about 11, I think. Just depends. So we're gonna go in. We're gonna start pouring in some transmission fluid. He said start with about 8 quarts on this and then check it. Oh, this stuff stinks so bad. It smells just like the Global.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Is it brown already?
It's dark red, but it's not brown. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead, fill this thing up. We're gonna start with 8 quarts and then we're going to start the car up and just check it and see where we're at. So it should take around 11 quarts or so. I'll get back to you guys in just a second.
I'm gonna have to pick all the transmission fluid up off the ground. We fixing to spill.
So, just for the record, every time Andrew rides in the car, we tear something up. So,
Pretty much.
guys, let's cross our fingers and hope that that ain't the case. All right, we're gonna make this video quick. This is a test drive to make sure that the transmission works, and we'll go from there. I'll probably leave this raw, just so you can listen to the car from start to finish. It's got a lower first gear. All the gears are lower now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I gotta adjust the TV cable.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It seems like it's a little tight, which is good. We'd rather it be that.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
We gotta put that steel spacer in there, the TV cable. You remember he gave us that?
Yeah, that bushing.
Yeah. Go that way. All right, guys, we're gonna leave it in, just leave it in overdrive and see what happens. May have to make some TV cable adjustments, but.
Shit, that feels good.
Spot on right there. Damn. That's almost about right.
Pretty damn close if it
Yeah.
ain't perfect.
Yeah. So, guys, the way this is going to work is all of our adjustments will be made from the TV cable. So if we need more line pressure and we want it to shift a little later, we'll just tighten up on the TV cable. I'm not going to drive the car very far because we do need to make some TV cable adjustments just to be safe. But this drive is basically just to make sure everything works. Car shifts a lot quicker, you can already tell it. We're not going to hit it. Guys, it's wet outside.
Wish it wasn't wet because I really want to kill it.
Yeah, I know. But we'll make the block here. We'll bear on it a little bit and see how she does. I just got to make sure that the shift points are good before we get too crazy with it. Man, I like it. That's awesome. So obviously, guys, the more throttle you give it, the more line pressure it's going to have, and the longer it's going to take for it to shift. So we're not going to go from a dead stop, but we'll go about just a touch under half throttle here. We'll see how it does. Okay, so just under half throttle, about 3/8 throttle if I had to guess. That's a win. Let me ask Andrew over here. So
looks good. It drives good.
Drives good. What you think? So
it's a lot smoother than I thought it'd be with that trans good stuff.
Yeah, as well.
It wasn't full throttle, but
yeah, that wasn't full throttle. But guys, we'll save that for another day. We want to be safe on the transmission. As much as I'd like to stab it, God, I love it, man. That's a little snap. As much as I'd love to stab this thing, we need to make sure, go back, check the fluid, and we need to put that metal bushing in for the TV cable. But guys, this has been a huge success. Huge shout out to Stephen Grant Transmissions, guys. God, we go way back. My dad used to get transmissions built by his dad, Emmett Grant. Highly sought after guy, and I'm just so thankful. He even did some custom machining on this transmission to get it to fit more clutches and plates. Top-notch guy. So you know, anything can happen with this transmission. We're fully aware of that, but as of right now, this thing shifts awesome. We'll go ahead and carry you guys out to the house, and we'll wrap this one up. Next video, we'll get on this thing a lot harder, and we'll beat the shit out of it, and we'll see if it makes any difference in the draggy times. Go about 3/8 throttle again.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Jesus. sideways in the rain, obviously, but that was very little throttle input, so I guess the lower gear ratios in the transmission is probably doing that.
Yeah.
And the way that it kicks down, it now kicks down properly. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Hey, thank you guys so much. I do appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Me and Andrew are very pleased with the car.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you guys are happy with the outcome as well. We'll get back to you here pretty soon. And as always,